Hi there.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. I am Commissioner Bob Gordon, and I'm going to be chairing this meeting today, not because of any radical staff changes in this agency, but because, unfortunately, President Fiordaliso has contracted COVID, and I'm told this morning that Commissioner Solomon has contracted COVID as well. We wish them both a speedy and easy recovery. Both will be participating by telephone in this meeting. Would you all rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Would the Secretary please read the public notice?
Adequate public notice has been given pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act, notice having been posted at the board's office and website, and emailed to the Department of State and to newspapers of broad circulation within the state.
Thank you. May I have a roll call, please?
Commissioner Holden?
Here.
Commissioner Solomon?
Here.
Commissioner Gordon?
Here.
Commissioner Christodoulou?
Here.
President Fiordaliso?
Here. Secretary, could you tell us about the next regularly scheduled meeting?
The next regular board meeting will be held on Wednesday, October 12th, 2022 at 10 a.m. It will be a hybrid meeting in person at the board hearing room at 44 South Clinton Avenue in Trenton and live streamed via YouTube.
Thank you. For those interested in item 8B, a clean energy item relating to the financial reporting requirements for Atlantic Shores offshore wind project, that item is going to be deferred. We are going to have an executive session today. There will be 4 items that will be discussed. Under audits, we'll be discussing the auditor for a study to be completed of Elizabethtown Gas and related companies. Under clean energy, there will be a discussion about a matter involving the selection of an integrity monitor for the school and small business energy efficiency stimulus program, and also a discussion regarding the necessity of easements and certain environmental permits in Ocean City for the construction and operation of the Ocean Wind 1 offshore wind project. Those items will be on our regular agenda, and we will be taking action on those in public session. Also in executive session, we will be discussing a matter involving the TREC factor for 2 projects, Washington Solar Farm LLC and Quakertown Solar Farm LLC. The board, however, will not be taking action on that item in public session. So with that, we'll move to the executive session. I would expect it would last about 30 minutes, and I'd like the Attorney General, Michael, if you could explain the justification for going into executive session.
Yes, good morning, Commissioner. Items 1A and 8A on today's agenda fall within the contract negotiation exception to the Open Public Meetings Act. We also have 2 other items. Items 9C and 9E fall within the attorney-client privilege, as well as the pending or anticipated litigation exceptions to the Open Public Meetings Act. These exceptions are found in New Jersey Statute 10:4-12B7. Thank you.
Thank you. May I have a motion to go into executive session?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. The board, in light of the fact that there are a number of visitors here in the interest of minimizing disruption, the board and relevant staff will be moving into the executive committee room behind us. Again, I think we'll be back in about 30 minutes. Thank you very much.
We have to vote on going into executive session?
go to executive session, Commissioner Holden?
Yes.
Commissioner Solomon?
Yes.
Commissioner Gordon?
Yes.
Commissioner Christodoulou?
Yes.
President Furlizo?
Yes.
Okay. Now we're going to move to the other room. Thank you.
Either way, or?
President Fiordaliso, Commissioner Solomon, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Up here.
Very good.
Yes.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're back. I believe I need a motion to close executive session and return to our open session. May I have that motion, please?
So moved.
Second?
Roll call.
On the motion to re-adjourn, Commissioner Holden? Sorry.
Here.
Commissioner Solomon?
Yes.
Commissioner Gordon?
Yes.
Commissioner Christodoulou?
Yes.
President Fiordaliso?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. I would like to make one introductory comment. This week, we note the passing of former Governor Jim Florio. For a generation of elected officials who were drawn to public service because of an interest in public policy rather than power, Governor Florio was the role model and really the North Star for us. And I just, on behalf of the board, like to extend our condolences to Lucinda Florio and to the Florio family. Do my colleagues have any comments? Commissioner Holden.
I will miss Jim Florio. He was a real class act. And when he would agree to co-chair a committee, he actually didn't just put his name on it. He worked on those committees, and that was evident in Jersey Water Works. And I will miss him. He was a real guiding star. Also, I just want to send our prayers to the people of Florida. This afternoon is going to be devastating to the West Coast. And this is a storm similar to Superstorm Sandy in that it covers just about the entire state. Maybe some of the panhandle will escape. But very proudly, we have New Jersey is among the 30,000 utility workers that have been deployed to the state. And there is an incident command team that is being sent, I believe, from First Energy. They said they're from Ohio. So good thoughts going through that.
Thank you.
Yes, Bob,
Yes, President Fiordaliso.
thank you. And of course, I'm thinking of the folks in Florida also, and this looks like a big one. And they haven't had a big one on the West Coast in about 5 years. So this could be devastating. Secondly, as far as our late Governor Floyd is concerned, I think Mariana hit it right on the head. He was, and I mean this in the most complimentary way, a policy wonk. And really, when he was a congressman, initiated brownfield legislation and so on. And under the leadership of Governor Murphy, we have seen a lot of what Governor Florio professed in Congress and as governor come to fruition. So the state of New Jersey, I believe, owes him a great deal of gratitude. He became a real statesman in the state of New Jersey after he left the governor's chair. And it is with sadness that we say goodbye to him. And I last time I saw him, it was at the Alliance for Action breakfast, and I had the honor of him introducing me. And he was getting feeble as his age progressed, and but he still had a sharp wit, and a man that made many personal sacrifices for the betterment of New Jersey. Never took or rarely took the political route out. He took what was the best that he felt was for the people of New Jersey that he represented. So rest in peace, Governor Florio, and thank you for your contributions to the state of New Jersey.
Thank you, Mr. President. Anyone else with a comment? Okay, thank you all. Madam Secretary, can we hear about the consent agenda?
You can. Consent agenda today, items 2A, 3A, 3B, 3C, 3D, 3E, 4A, 5A, 5B, 5C, 6A, 8A, and consent late starter A.
So moved.
Second?
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Holden?
Yes.
Commissioner Solomon?
Yes.
Commissioner Gordon?
Yes.
Commissioner Christodoulou?
Yes.
President Fiordaliso?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. I do believe that brings us to our regular agenda, and I was advised just at the start of this meeting that there will be a late starter, I believe, which relates to my being designated a hearing officer for a...
Commissioner, that was the consent item, late starter.
Oh, I see, it was on the consent. Okay, thank you.
Sorry
very
for the
much.
confusion.
Okay. All right, well, that brings us to audits. Alice, welcome. Could you tell us about the Elizabethtown gas matter, please?
Good morning, Commissioners. Before you today is the matter involving the commencement of the audit of affiliated transactions of Elizabethtown Gas Company, its parent, South Jersey Industries, affiliates and subsidiaries during the audit period, and a comprehensive management audit of Elizabethtown Gas Company. Specifically, before you today is the selection of the consultant. Staff recommends that the board approve staff's recommendation consistent with the discussion in the executive session.
Okay, thank you.
So moved.
Second?
Okay, questions or comments? Okay, roll call, please.
On the motion to approve staff's recommendation, Commissioner Holden?
Yes.
Commissioner Solomon?
Yes.
Commissioner Gordon?
Yes.
Commissioner Christodoulou?
Yes.
President Fiordaliso?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Alice.
Thank you.
And that brings us to energy. Paul Lupo will be making some presentations. The first item is a matter relating to PSE&G. Paul?
Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
Did you say 2A already? Sorry.
Go
Okay,
right ahead.
perfect.
Yeah.
On March 22nd, Public Service Electric and Gas Company filed a petition seeking review and approval to modify its manufactured gas plant component within its societal benefits charge to recover the net manufactured gas plant costs incurred during the RAC period, August 1st, 2020 through July 31st, 2021. Based upon the net RAC period cost and the amortization of previous RAC period expenses, the company proposed a decrease in the current RAC recoveries of approximately $9.85 million in gas revenue and approximately $6.16 million in electric revenue. The parties have executed a stipulation that would allow PSE&G to modify its electric and gas RAC rates consistent with the petition. As a result of the stipulation, a typical residential gas heating customer would see a decrease in their annual bill of $3.58, and a typical residential electric customer would see a decrease in their annual bill of $1. Staff recommends that the board issue an order approving the stipulation and directing PSE&G to file revised tariffs by September 30th, 2022.
So moved.
Second?
Any questions or comments? Okay, hearing none, roll call, please.
On the motion to approve staff's recommendation, Commissioner Holden?
Yes.
Commissioner Solomon?
Yes.
Commissioner Gordon?
Yes.
Commissioner Christodoulou?
Yes.
President Fiordaliso?
Yes.
Okay. It takes us to item 2B, which is a matter involving New Jersey Natural Gas and their energy efficiency rate. Paul?
Correct. On June 1st, 2022, New Jersey Natural filed a petition seeking review and approval to modify its existing energy efficiency rate. Through discovery, New Jersey Natural updated its petition to include actual information through July 2022, which was subsequently updated. The parties have executed a stipulation that would allow New Jersey Natural to implement an energy efficiency rate for the programs established from 2010 through 2018, consistent with the petition, and for programs established since 2021, consistent with the update. As a result of the stipulation, a typical residential heating customer would see a decrease in their monthly bill of 52 cents. Staff recommends that the board issue an order approving the stipulation and directing New Jersey Natural to file revised tariffs by September 30th.
Okay, thank you.
So moved.
Second.
Questions or comments? Okay, may I have a roll call, please?
On the motion to approve staff's recommendation, Commissioner Holden?
Yes.
Commissioner Solomon?
Yes.
Commissioner Gordon?
Yes.
Commissioner Christodoulou?
Yes.
President Fiorelliso?
yes,
Okay, thank you. That brings us to item 2C, which is a matter relating to PSE&G's gas conservation incentive rates. Paul?
On September 23rd, 2020, the board approved Public Service Electric and Gas Company's Clean Energy Future Energy Efficiency Program, which included, among other things, the establishment of an electric and gas conservation incentive mechanism to account for lost revenues resulting from the potential decrease in customer energy usage stemming from administering clean energy programs. The SIP is calculated each month by applicable rate schedule by subtracting the baseline revenue per customer from the actual revenue per customer and multiplying the resulting revenue per customer by the actual number of customers for that month. And it results in either a SIP margin deficiency, which is to be collected from customers, or a margin excess, which is to be refunded to customers. On June 1st, 2022, PSE&G filed a petition seeking approval to revise its gas SIP and associated customer rates. As proposed in the petition, the gas SIP recovery is approximately $53.025 million, which represents approximately $24.65 million of allowed non-weather related gas distribution margin recovery, approximately $28.316 million of weather-related gas distribution margin recovery, and approximately $93,375 related to the weather normalization charge, which had an ending balance that was transferred on May 1st, 2022. The parties have executed a stipulation for provisional rates that would allow PSE&G to implement the gas SIP rates proposed in the petition on a provisional basis, subject to refund with interest. As a result of the stipulation, the annual bill impact on a typical residential gas heating customer is an increase of $30.38. Staff recommends that the board issue an order approving the stipulation for provisional rates and directing PSE&G to file tariffs by September 30th, 2022.
Okay, thank you.
So moved.
Second.
Questions or comments?
Just one comment.
Commissioner Solomon?
Yeah, well, these are increases in addition to what we had done last month and roll in for the same period, I presume?
Correct, Commissioner Solomon. These are in addition to the BGSS matters that were approved at the board's earlier September agenda. There were 4 matters. The three of the GDCs, when they filed their BGSS petition, include their SIP in that. PSE&G did not include their SIP in that filing, so this is separate and in addition to that matter.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Any other questions or comments? Roll call, please.
On the motion to approve staff's recommendation, Commissioner Holden?
Yes.
Commissioner Solomon?
Yes.
Commissioner Gordon?
Yes.
Commissioner Christodoulou?
Yes.
President Fiorelliso?
yes,
Okay. Our next item, 2D, relates to Atlantic City Electric's power ahead rate. Paul?
Correct. On May 2nd, 2022, Atlantic City Electric filed a petition seeking cost recovery of certain investments within its approved Power Ahead program. In the petition, and as subsequently updated, Atlantic City Electric sought to recover the projected revenue requirements associated with the capital investments through June 30th, 2022, not yet recovered in base rates of approximately $1.579 million. The parties have executed a stipulation that would allow the company to recover a revenue requirement consistent with the update on a provisional basis, subject to refund. As a result of the stipulation, a typical residential customer would see an increase in their monthly bill of 17 cents. Staff recommends that the board issue an order approving the stipulation and directing Atlantic City Electric to file revised tariffs by September 30th, 2022.
Okay.
So moved.
Second?
Questions or comments on this matter? Hearing none, roll call, please.
On the motion to approve staff's recommendation, Commissioner Holden?
Yes.
Commissioner Solomon?
Yes.
Commissioner Gordon?
Yes.
Commissioner Christodoulou?
Yes.
President Fiorliso?
Yes.
Okay, our next matter relates to RICO's Electric Conservation Incentive Program. Paul?
On June 9th, 2021, the board approved Rockland Electric Company's energy efficiency filing, which included, among other things, the establishment of an electric conservation incentive mechanism to account for lost revenues resulting from the potential decrease in customer energy usage stemming from administering clean energy programs. The SIP is calculated each month by applicable rate schedule by subtracting the baseline revenue per customer from the actual revenue per customer and multiplying the resulting revenue per customer by the actual number of customers for the month. And that results in either a SIP margin deficiency to be collected from the customers or a margin excess to be refunded to customers. On July 29th, 2022, Rockland filed a petition seeking approval to adjust its SIP rates based upon an initial deferral period of July 1st, 2021 through June 30th, 2022, and recover a net SIP amount of $805,422. Rockland proposed a rate adjustment related to changes in the average revenue per customer when compared to a baseline revenue per customer. The parties have executed a stipulation that would allow Rockland to implement SIP rates consistent with the petition on a provisional basis, subject to refund with interest. As a result of the stipulation, Rockland's average residential customer would see a decrease in their annual bill of $2.04. Staff recommends that the board issue an order approving the stipulation for provisional rates and directing Rockland to file revised tariffs by September 30th, 2022.
So moved.
Second?
Questions or comments? Hearing none, may I have a roll call, please?
On the motion to approve staff's recommendation, Commissioner Holden?
Yes.
Commissioner Solomon?
Yes.
Commissioner Gordon?
Yes.
Commissioner Christodoulou?
Yes.
President Fiorliso?
Yes.
Okay, our next item relates to Elizabethtown Gas, and it's their, involving their infrastructure investment program rate recovery filing. Paul?
On April 29th, 2022, Elizabethtown Gas Company filed a petition seeking approval to recover approximately $6.3 million in revenue requirement associated with its infrastructure investment program for the period July 1st, 2021 through June 30th, 2022. And they anticipated approximately $57.5 million in projects to be placed in service. Elizabethtown updated its schedules to include actual IIP expenditures through June 30th, 2022. That supported a revenue requirement of approximately $6.3 million and actual investments of approximately $57.7 million. The parties have executed a stipulation that would allow the company to recover a revenue requirement of approximately $6.3 million, consistent with the update, on a provisional basis, subject to refund. As a result of the stipulation, a typical residential customer would see an increase in their monthly bill of $1.93. Staff recommends that the board issue an order approving the stipulation and directing Elizabethtown to file revised tariffs by September 30th, 2022.
Okay, thank you.
So moved.
Second?
Questions or comments? Hearing none, roll call, please.
On the motion to approve staff's recommendation, Commissioner Holden?
Yes.
Commissioner Solomon?
Yes.
Commissioner Gordon?
Yes.
Commissioner Christodoulou?
Yes.
President Fiorliso?
Yes.
Okay, Paul, I think that covers all your items. Thank you very much. We're next going to hear from Maureen Clerk, who is going to be presenting an item relating to adjustments to the statewide electric and gas USF program and Lifeline program rates. Maureen?
Good morning, Commissioners. And I wish the President and Commissioner Solomon a speedy recovery. Good morning. This matter concerns the electric and gas utilities annual compliance filing to determine the Universal Service Fund, or USF, and Lifeline program budgets and rates for the upcoming program year. USF provided energy assistance benefits to approximately 227,000 households this year, up 54% from this time last year. The New Jersey Department of Community Affairs is the USF program administrator. The Lifeline program provided benefits to over 220,000 households, and the New Jersey Department of Human Services is the Lifeline program administrator. The utilities submitted their annual compliance filing to the board on June 27th. In this June filing, the utilities requested rate adjustments to recover a USF budget of approximately $263 million and a Lifeline program budget of $74.6 million. The cost data included actual costs from October 21 through April 2022 and estimated costs from May to September. The June filing proposed a decrease to the USF and Lifeline gas rates and proposed an increase to the USF and Lifeline electric rates. In the June filing, the utilities also requested recovery of their USF-related administrative costs and requested the USF and Lifeline interim rates approved in September 2021 be finalized. In August 2022, the utilities updated the information they provided to include 3 additional months of actual cost data through July and 2 months of estimated data. The August update reflected a higher estimated USF budget of approximately $268 million and proposed a gas rate that is lower than the current rate but higher than the rate proposed in the June filing. The August update also proposed an electric rate that is higher than the current rate but lower than the rate proposed in the June filing. The electric utilities each held 2 virtual public hearings. At the PSE&G public hearings, members of the public expressed opposition to any rate increases, and the public raised concerns regarding utility shutoffs and the recently lifted moratorium on shutoffs. No other comments for the public were received. During the review period, Rate Counsel submitted comments stating that it does not object to the utilities' request for recovery of actual administrative costs and takes no position on the reasonableness of the Department of Community Affairs budget for administration. Rate Counsel does not object to the board making the present interim USF and Lifeline rates permanent, and Rate Counsel finally recommended the board consider the most recent available cost and revenue data establishing rates. After reviewing the June filing and all the related submissions, staff recommends the board approve the USF rates proposed in the August update with rates effective October 1st, 2022. These rates support a USF budget of approximately $268 million for the new program year, which begins October 1st, 2022. This budget represents an increase of approximately $53 million from the current budget of $215 million. Further, staff recommends the board approve the Lifeline rates contained in the August update, which support a Lifeline program budget of approximately $74.6 million, with rates also effective October 1st, 2022. The Lifeline budget is unchanged from the prior year's budget. The combined USF Lifeline rates represent a decrease of $2.88 per year for an average residential gas customer and an increase of $7.38 per year for an average residential electric customer. The combined USF Lifeline annual bill would be $52.69 for an average residential customer using both gas and electric, which is a net increase of $4.50. Additionally, staff recommends the board direct staff to reimburse the utilities for their USF-related administrative costs, which total $7,549. Staff further recommends the board finalize the interim rates that were approved in September 2021 because these rates have been reviewed and trued up. And finally, staff recommends the board to direct the utilities to file their revised tariffs by September 30th, 2022.
Okay, thank you.
So moved.
Second?
Any questions or comments on this?
Yes,
President Fiordaliso.
thank you. Maureen, you know how over the years committed I've been to these programs. Are we satisfied that we have enough here that anyone who needs help will be able to get it?
Maureen, were you able to hear that?
I'm sorry, President Fiordalisa, could you repeat that?
Could you
last
repeat that,
question?
please, maybe a little louder?
Sure. Maureen, you know my commitment to these programs over the years and so on. I just want to be assured of the fact that anyone who needs help, we have enough resources to assist them. Am I correct?
Yes, there's a lot of help available. The board expanded the programs for the pandemic, and there's help available for a lot of people. So we hope people will apply if they need help and get it.
Okay. Very good. Any other?
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments on this matter? Roll call, please.
On the motion to approve staff's recommendations, Commissioner Holden,
Yes.
Commissioner Solomon,
Yes.
Commissioner Gordon,
Yes.
Commissioner Christodoulou,
Yes.
President Fiordaliso.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Maureen. That completes the items under energy. We have no items under cable television nor telecommunications, which brings us to water and Mike Kammer, who will be discussing 3 items. The first, I believe, relates to Veolia Water and a petition that they filed regarding the presiding commissioner of a matter. Michael?
Yes, good morning, Commissioners. On June 22nd, 2022, Veolia Water, New Jersey, filed a petition requesting authorization to defer the cost associated with the replacement of non-company side lead service lines as a regulatory asset until its next base rate case filing. Board staff recommends that the board retain this matter for hearing at the board and designate a presiding commissioner. Staff further recommends that the board set a deadline of October 28th, 2022 for the filing of motions to intervene and/or participate and for admission pro hoc vice.
Thank you.
So moved.
Second?
Any questions or comments on this? Hearing none, roll call, please.
On the motion to approve staff's recommendations, Commissioner Holden,
Yes.
Commissioner Solomon,
Yes.
Commissioner Gordon,
Yes.
Commissioner Christodoulou,
Yes.
President Fiordaliso.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Next item under water, another matter relating to Veolia and a public-private contract between the Veolia and the Township of North Brunswick. Michael?
Yes, on October 4th, 2022, pursuant to the New Jersey Water Supply Public-Private Contracting Act, or the Water Supply Act, NJSA 58:26-19-27, the Township of North Brunswick filed a petition seeking authorization to enter into a public-private contract with Veolia Water North America Operating Services, LLC, or Veolia, for the operation and maintenance of North Brunswick's municipally owned water system. The board does not normally have jurisdiction over North Brunswick. Pursuant to the Water Supply Act, the board's jurisdiction is limited to the approval of the public-private contract and any future modifications to the contract. Following a review of the petition and comments submitted by the Division of Rate Counsel, staff recommends that the board issue an order approving the public-private contract between North Brunswick and Veolia.
So moved.
Second?
Thank you. I have a question. Michael, I know that, I believe it was in the last year, there was legislation passed, I think affecting Title 58, relating to partnerships between municipal water utilities and private utilities, ostensibly to allow municipalities to access the technical expertise and economies of scale of these larger institutions. Is this project one that is being authorized under that legislation?
Yes.
And is it one of the first?
No, we've had many public-private contracts. Veolia operates a number of systems under that legislation. New Jersey American operates the city of Elizabeth and the city of Camden under that legislation. So this is one of many contracts, and it does enable the municipal utilities to take advantage of the services and the technology that's available to them by the privately run utilities.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions or comments? Okay, roll call, please.
On the motion to approve staff's recommendation, Commissioner Holden?
Yes.
Commissioner Solomon?
Yes.
Commissioner Gordon?
Yes.
Commissioner Christodoulou?
Yes.
President Fiordaliso?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. The third and final item under water involves Middlesex Water requesting approval to implement its purchased water adjustment charge. Michael?
Yes. On March 15th, 2022, Middlesex Water Company filed a petition seeking approval to change the level of its purchased water adjustment clause, or PWAC, to recover increased purchased water cost together with deferred cost associated with purchased water, its purchased water related rate case expenses, and associated gross receipts and franchise taxes. The matter was transmitted to the Office of Administrative Law for hearings as a contested case and is currently pending before Administrative Law Judge Jacob Gertzman. On July 22nd, 2022, Middlesex filed a motion for emergency relief for direct consideration by the board pursuant to NJSA 48:2-21.1 and NJAC 1:1-12.6. The company's motion requested that it be allowed to change the level of its PWAC on an interim basis during the pendency of this proceeding until a final board decision resolving all or issues in this proceeding is issued. The Old Bridge Municipal Utilities Authority and the Township of Marlborough, collectively the interveners, both of which were granted intervener status by ALJ Gertzman, oppose Middlesex's motion. Board staff recommends that the board grant the motion and authorize Middlesex to implement its PWAC on an interim basis, subject to refund, effective October 1st, 2022.
Okay, thank you.
So moved.
Second?
Questions or comments? Hearing none, roll call, please.
On the motion to approve staff's recommendation, Commissioner Holden?
Yes.
Commissioner Solomon?
Yes.
Commissioner Gordon?
Yes.
Commissioner Christodoulou?
Yes.
President Fiordaliso?
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, Michael. That
Thank you.
completes our items for water. We have no
Board's page program administrator, and the current page contract between the board and the AHA will expire after a 2-year period in January 2023. However, the contract allows for a 1-year extension with board approval. Extending the page contract through December 31st, 2023 would bring the program changes put in place in response to the pandemic into closer alignment with the pandemic-related expansions made to the board's Universal Service Fund and Fresh Start programs. If approved, this 1-year contract extension would change only the contract's expiration date and work period. The terms of the contract and pricing would not change. Therefore, board staff recommends the board extend the page contract through December 31st, 2023, and authorize the board president to sign the contract amendment form.
So moved.
Second?
questions or comments. Hearing none, roll call, please.
On the motion to approve staff's recommendation, Commissioner Holden?
Yes.
Commissioner Solomon?
Yes.
Commissioner Gordon?
Yes.
Commissioner Christodoulou?
Yes.
President Fiordaliso?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Maureen. That brings us to clean energy. We have 4 items there. Item 8A is going to be covered by Kevin Nedza, and it's a matter involving an integrity monitor for the school and small business energy efficiency stimulus program. Kevin?
Thank you, Commissioner. And don't worry, most people say the name incorrectly, so I told my fiance she's in for a lot of fun soon. Thank you. So this item pertains to the School and Small Business Energy Efficiency Stimulus Program, which was created by the board in October 2021. This program consists of the School and Small Business Non-Compliant Plumbing Fixture and Appliance Program and the School and Small Business Ventilation and Energy Efficiency Verification and Repair Program. These programs are designed to provide grants to schools and small businesses for the installation of certain heating, ventilation, and air conditioning systems, along with energy efficient and water conserving appliances and fixtures, in order to improve air quality and energy efficiency in school districts under the jurisdiction of a Board of Education and small businesses. And this includes school districts and small businesses, specifically in underserved communities. The program is funded by $180 million of federal money made available through the American Rescue Plan Act of 2021. To receive this federal funding, the board entered into an MOU with DCA on October 8th, 2021. The program funds were divided into 8 distinct categories as established in the law. The FY 2023 state budget grants the board the ability to reallocate funding to better serve the needs of the program. The MOU must be updated to reflect this change. Additionally, the MOU contained a provision that, due to Executive Order 166, an integrity monitor should be procured for the program because the grant exceeds $20 million. Staff has worked with Treasury on procuring an integrity monitor for the program. On May 23rd, 2022, Treasury received a Treasury released a bidding opportunity on this project to pre-selected firms. On June 27th, 2022, Treasury received 4 responses from Vanderweel, Cohn-Resnick, BDO, and Rump & Associates. Staff recommends that the board approve the amendments to the MOU and designate President Fiordaliso to sign the new MOU on behalf of the board. Staff further recommends that the board approve the evaluation committee selection of the integrity monitor, subject to final approval by Treasury.
Thank you, Kevin.
So moved.
Second.
Any questions or comments?
I have a comment, Bob.
Yeah, President Fiordaliso.
I think this also, in addition to many of the other initiatives that we have begun, demonstrates the need that this has to be an all-encompassing program as far as clean energy and so on is concerned. Just not from the state on down. It has to be from the localities on up also. And if we're going to meet our goals of clean energy by 2050, all segments of our population have to be involved and vigorously involved. Other programs like Community Solar, I think, also demonstrate that. Regardless of the socioeconomic group, everyone has, should have the opportunity to participate here. And we're looking at schools, we're looking at communities, we're looking at every aspect of our life here in the state of New Jersey to try to achieve that goal. So as usual, Kevin, good job.
Thank you, sir.
Great. Thank you. Any other comments or questions? Points well made. Have a roll call, please.
On the motion to approve staff's recommendations, Commissioner Holden,
Yes.
Commissioner Solomon,
Yes.
Commissioner Gordon,
Yes.
Commissioner Christodoulou,
Yes.
President Fiordaliso.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you, Kevin. The next, I just want to remind those in the audience that item 8B is being deferred. That's a matter involving the financial reporting requirements of the Atlantic Shores offshore wind project. We will be hearing that at a later time, which brings us to item 8C. Veronique is going to be presenting that. That relates to petition filed by Ocean Wind regarding the necessity for easements and other permits related to their Ocean Wind 1 project in the Ocean City area. Veronique?
Good morning, Commissioners. This relates to docket number QO22020041. This item was discussed in executive session. On February 2 of this year, Ocean Wind LLC filed a petition with the board seeking the determination that certain easements across Green Acres designated properties, as well as consents needed for certain environmental permits in and with respect to the city of Ocean City, are reasonably necessary for the construction or operation of the Ocean Wind 1 project. The board selected the Ocean Wind 1 project in June 2019 as the first qualified offshore wind project. This petition was filed pursuant to the 2021 amendment to the Offshore Wind Economic Development Act, legislation signed by Governor Murphy in July 2021. The 21 amendment grants qualified offshore wind projects the power to supersede state and local government powers with respect to certain property rights and consent. This power can only be exercised if the board finds that the property rights and consents are reasonably necessary for construction or operation of the project. The easements and consents sought under the petition are intended to enable construction and operation of the electricity export cables that will run from the offshore wind farm to the point of interconnection at the BL England substation, which is one of two points of interconnection to the electric grid in New Jersey that are planned by the project. The record contains testimonies from Ocean Wind and comments from the City of Ocean City, as well as comments and testimonies from the Division of Rate Counsel. In addition, Ocean Wind responded to inquiries from the Board and Rate Counsel with additional clarification. On May 19, 2022, the Board conducted 2 public hearing sessions pursuant to NJSA 48:3-87.1F2. Written comments were received from Rate Counsel and members of the public. On June 24, 2022, President Fiordalisa presided over an oral argument before the full board, where the petitioner, Rate Counsel, and Ocean City presented their arguments. Staff recommends that the board grant Ocean Wind's petition.
Thank you.
So moved.
Second.
Questions or comments?
If I could just make a comment, this issue is very complicated and complex, and as I've only been on this board for a few months, it predates my tenure with the BPU. However, I'm very confident that the updates I've been given by staff and by everyone at the board here is sufficient, and I'm confident that it encompasses all the best interests of all stakeholders, both now and for the future. So I'm very confident being able to make a decision on this at this time. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? Roll call, please.
On the motion.
Yes, I'm sorry.
Commissioner
I
Solomon.
have sorry, I had trouble getting off of mute. I just wanted to, have you address, as I did in executive session, the issues raised by Rate Counsel. You feel you have, that there was sufficient information regarding the routes that was provided during the discovery in this matter for staff for purposes of their review?
Veronique?
Yes, Commissioner, we do.
Okay.
And with respect to the cost issue, that's not something that's not information. My understanding is that's not information that the board is entitled to under this proceeding.
Mr. Brabston.
Commissioner, it's not that the board is not entitled to it, it's that the question of cost is not germane to the finding of whether or not the route is reasonable. And that's why it was not sought in this specific proceeding.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Any other questions or comments? Okay. Roll call, please.
On the motion to approve staff's recommendation, Commissioner Holden?
Yes.
Commissioner Solomon?
Yes.
Commissioner Gordon?
Yes.
Commissioner Christodoulou?
Yes?
President Fiordaliso?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Veronique. And that brings us to matter 8D, which will be presented by Scott Hunter, and that is a matter relating to an application for remote net metering from an organization called National Energy Partners. Scott?
Hello, Commissioners. This item relates to an application submitted by National Energy Partners, or NEP, for remote net metering at the Summers Point Sewerage Authority. The Clean Energy Act of 2018 directed the board to establish an application and approval process to certify public entities to act as a host customer for remote net metering capacity within 120 days of enactment. In compliance with this directive, the board approved such a process and a public entity certification agreement by order dated September 17, 2018. On May 11, 2022, NEP submitted a remote net metering application for Summers Point to the board. The application included a fully executed public entity certification agreement and an interconnection application, Part 1, executed by Summers Point City Administrator as a representative of the customer generator. The certification agreement further specifies that the primary host account for this application is the Summers Point Sewerage Authority, where the proposed 141.3 kilowatt solar electric generation facility will be located. The agreement also indicates that the city's municipal building will be serving as the sole receiving customer account and allocated 100% of the credits from the proposed solar facility. On May 10, 2022, Atlantic City Electric was provided the application for remote net metering for Summers Point Sewerage Authority. The company reviewed the application and found the application for interconnection and the public entity certification agreement to be administratively complete. As a result, staff makes the following two recommendations. First, staff recommends the board find that the applicant has proposed a solar electric generation facility that is consistent with the size limits established by the board's September 2018 remote net metering order. And second, find that the proposed solar electric generation facility described in the remote net metering application satisfies the criteria set out by the board in the remote net metering order and approve the public entity certification agreement for the Summers Point project.
So moved.
Second?
Questions or comments? Hearing none, roll call, please.
On the motion to approve staff's recommendation, Commissioner Holden?
Yes.
Commissioner Solomon?
Yes.
Commissioner Gordon?
Yes.
Commissioner Christodoulou?
Yes.
President Fiordaliso?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Scott. And that brings us to our final item, which is going to be a litigation update on a matter involving the TREC factors for two solar projects. And that's going to be presented by Bob Brabston. Bob?
Thank you, Commissioner. Good morning, everyone. As discussed in executive session, this was a litigation update provided to the commissioners, and there's no action required by the board in public session.
Okay. Thank you very much. I want to thank everyone for attending. If there are no other items, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Commissioner,
President Fiordaliso.
I'm sorry, I don't want to deter anyone from leaving, but I did want to, on behalf of the board, wish all of our friends who are celebrating a very happy, peaceful Rosh Hashanah, and I think all any of us want in this world anymore is just peace. So I hope this coming year is one that demonstrates our desires. Number one. Number two, it's a lot different being on the phone here, but I think we're coming along. I'll talk to Diane later and we'll compare notes. I also want to remind folks that Monday is our Clean Energy Conference down at Harrods. If you haven't registered yet, those of you who are listening or in attendance at today's meeting, please do so. Go to our website. It's going to be a very, very interesting one. We have confirmed the governor will be there. We have confirmed that our good friend on the FERC Commissioner Willie Phillips, will also be in attendance. And for those of you who do not know, Willie was the former chair of the Washington, D.C. Commission, and is an outstanding young man. So I hope your calendars reflect your attendance at this conference. I think it's going to be worthwhile. I think it's going to be educational, but I also think it's going to be enjoyable. And it's also a time to meet and connect with folks maybe you haven't seen in a while. So please take that into consideration, and I wish you peace and health, and thank you, Bob. And you did a great job, and I appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Thank you, President Fiordaliso, for those important reminders and also your wish for peace. I have one other wish that I think my colleagues here will support, and that is a wish that both you and Commissioner Solomon have a speedy and easy recovery from your current condition. We wish you all the best.
Thank you.
If there are no other issues, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
First, Shana Tova to you, and
Well done, Mariana.
and I move to adjourn.
Thank you.
I'll second that.
Roll call, please.
On the motion to adjourn, Commissioner Holden?
Yes.
Commissioner Solomon?
Yes.
Commissioner Gordon?
Yes.
Commissioner Christodoulou?
Yes.
President Fiordaliso?
Yes.
Thank you very much. We are adjourned.